we just had a break, but no extended downtime here. And as we jump on into Scarlett versus Billowy, ZvP best of 3. Let's see what's going to happen as we have the top right-hand side of the map. Our green Zerg player from Team Expert is Scarlett. Her opponent down to the bottom left side, the blue Protoss player, that's Billowy. Scarlett will also be playing in the American Qualifier Stage 2 that takes place tonight from 1 AM CET. We are hoping to be live with that as well, just a little bit later on here today. And as you do just see this hatchery starting to build up from Scarlett, so setting up into this, we're going to see a few probes coming down. Because this is, of course, not her base, this is the Protoss base. So she's proxy hatching here to just be a bit of a nuisance early, and just try and put her opponent off of his game. Across the map, she's, of course, taken her own hatchery, and she's just gone kind of hatch gas pool after the fact she's built this hatch over here. We'll cancel and pull away. It does force itself to come out early, and again, I mean, look at all the lost mining time. And that's what, like 9 probes off the mineral line for 30, 40 seconds. It costs, it costs Billowy more than it costs Scarlett when she cancels and only loses 75 minerals. So, I guess Scarlett loses 75 minerals, but Billowy will have, will be missing more than those 75 minerals for quite some time. So, it works out quite nicely as we see the probe just moving around here from Billowy, looking to see where else he can go. The pool about to finish up in the back of this main base, and as we mentioned before, the gas continue to mine here. 100 of it is about to finish up, so link speed can begin, and Scarlett can go into her next phase of the game after, I mean, it wasn't really that much pressure, really. It was just a way to try and be annoying as, oh, wow, that probe was so close to blocking this here, but didn't quite make it happen. That's unfortunate for Billy. That's one of those moments where you just say, God damn it, and just like, you do that sort of like, oh, come on, sort of moment. It's, frustrating. Definitely frustrating. As we do see this Nexus is on the way up, about 75% of the way done. It's going to be finishing very soon here, actually. So Billy looking to finish up this Nexus, as we're going to be seeing a Stalker about to pop out. This will help to chase this Overlord away. Will it actually pick up the kill? Well, it's going to be pretty close. No, okay, he's going to pick up the kill. So Scarlett is just a little bit too far in with this Overlord, trying to pick up information. There's, ooh, a Forge coming down from Billowy. Now that is very different to what you might be expecting. Scarlett turns this Overlord around to try and pick up any extra info, knowing it's going to die anyways. May as well send it in a bit more of a useful direction. But come on, the Forge? Wow, so there's going to be some early upgrades for our Protoss player here. So he's going to be going into a lot of early upgrades now. And it's going to be an armor upgrade as well. How interesting. Wow, I'm really intrigued as to what this goes into, because as far as I can remember, I can't really recall seeing this as of late. So, I mean, obviously Forges used to be a thing, all the time in PvZ. I mean, fast Forge plays and aggressive plays like that was, the way to go. There was Forge Fast Expand back in Wings of Liberty. There was Gate Forge kind of in HOTS for a long time. It was all, having a Forge early has always been a thing in PvZ, but not in Legacy of the Void. And more so, what's even more different is the armor over an attack. Generally, whenever we see faster Forges, they are for attack upgrades, and you hit like a +1 Blink Stalker timing, or you hit +2 Blink Stalker timing, and that sort of stuff. This is going to be an armor upgrade, which is so interesting to me. I'm really intrigued as to what exactly the idea of this is from Billowy. Super, super weird. He takes third base right now as well. I mean, he's got no other tech. He's just on triple gateway and the Forge, opening the depths, and I guess he's just gonna make a depths that are kind of unkillable. Thing is, though, Scarlett's actually making a lot of lings, and she's got a Baneling Nest as well. And I feel as though Banelings are probably going to be one of the best kind of ways to kind of fight against these Adepts with +1 armor, because the Adepts are just going to get blown up most likely. So I feel as though, maybe Roaches would kind of really struggle because the Adepts would just never die. But I think Banelings will have a bit of a better time kind of working their way through this. So we'll see nonetheless. Overcharge over here will protect the third base, so Scarlett can't do much to this just yet, as she just moved in for 13 Banes. I mean, she isn't making any more drones, still just massing up units. Her own +1 melee upgrade is finished, so I mean, upgrades are upgrades, and they're going to kind of counteract each other here. So it's basically going to be, I mean, that's kind of interesting, though, because now that means she's basically on just normal Lings against normal Adepts, which generally doesn't go well, though there is, of course, no Glaives. So that's interesting, too, is going to be saying, well, Scarlett just Keeping those depths away, she'll go back towards the third base now, but there is overcharges still available. I mean, there's definitely still time for Billowy to shut this down. It looks though actually going to see the Banes will just blow up this pylon. I mean, to be fair, it means that the third base can now be attacked. It does force the Protoss player to actually move out onto the map to defend against this. These Banes still looking around to see what they can do, as we see them trying to connect to the sentries, but not going to happen. Pulls back, will get some damage onto the Adepts at least. As the Zerglings will start picking these off, and they will go down as they spread out. Opens up the surface area. Another pylon overcharge to the top side, but doesn't quite connect on anything, as now the sentry is actually being chased down by these Lings. One last force field will sort of begin to protect. One sentry already going down though. Scarlett still here with just so many Zerglings. A couple of Zealots at the front as well. Will continue to take damage. We're going to be seeing these units continue to fight away right now, as well, there goes that sentry. It gets picked off here, and we're going to be seeing these Lings from Scarlett just going to pull away now once again. Good damage overall, but was it enough? Was it really justifiable? Overall, it's actually been pretty similar on resources lost. I mean, one big thing she does pick up is that some of the resources lost for Billowy is the third base which she killed, and obviously that slows down his further production, his further economy. So it's a bit of an interesting scenario right here to begin with, as we are going to be seeing the +2 melee attack upgrade coming in on this evolution chamber. Centrifugal hooks is on the way as well, on the Bane and Ness again, into that Bane speed now, and the Templar archives just about 30-40% of the way done here. 16 more Lings on the way up. Hydra's Den is about to finish. I'm just going to be seeing the charge upgrade. Is continuing to come in right now. So charge continuing to upgrade as we see these Zerglings going to loop around, and Scarlett is looking to see where she can go to kind of continue getting damage in these next few moments. Overlords will begin to spread on out, and again a few more Hydras on the way up. +2 melee upgrade is on the way as well. We see the centrifugal hooks, as we mentioned before, will also finish. She's getting into all of her upgrades for this Ling Bane Hydra Bane sort of composition. This guy, I mean, honestly, looking at the composition of Billowy, it's going to be pretty effective. I mean, right now it's kind of just like Zealot Sentry. I mean, we look at the tech structures again, and well, Temple Archives have come down, and Storm and Archons are definitely a good way to kind of fight against this, but is there going to be enough of it in time? Well, there's definitely not going to be Storm in time if Scarlett hits a timing which is anywhere in the near future. Now, Archons will be a different story, but again, is there going to be enough of them? Like 2 or 3 isn't going to cut it. I mean, you need kind of 4, 5, 6 against what is going to be a lot of Banes that you need to soak up to minimize the damage they're going to get done here. Wing's going to keep on moving forwards. Hydra's coming through the center of the map as well. The Zealot getting surrounded, will be lifted by the Warp Prism. Backing away to the left side just a moment or two there. A couple of these High Templars will finish warping in, and there's one more Archon coming on down. So one more Archon drops in here. You see the Zealot finishing warping in as well, and Billowy just getting ready to go. Bane's going to continue to morph in over on this third base, so they're going to finish morphing in right now, and again getting ready to charge on forwards. Wings and Hydra still gathered up together as Scarlett. Here we go, getting ready to attack on in. Moving on forwards, and again, does she just have too much? Well, perhaps. I mean, early on went kind of okay for her, but I think it actually put into maybe more of a lead than we could kind of recognize until we get to this sort of stage. Because now she does have a lot to work with. However, there is sentries, but no, well, that's going to be disastrous. Force fields miss, and the Banes roll on into the army. Now there's 3 Archons and nothing else. Well, that is not how you're meant to defend against this. I can tell you guys that much without really having to, without really having to tell you much else. I mean, that is just not how this is meant to go. The sentries should have at least bought a little bit of time. It's meant to be the Archons that soak up the Bane shots, not the sentries, not the Zealots, not the rest of the gateway units, which die so quickly to Banes. Left-hand side of the map, our green Zerg player up 1 game in this best of 3. It is Scarlett, representing Team Expert, of course. And down to the lower right-hand side, our blue Protoss player. It is Billowy. A player who has always been around and has always come up with very different sort of results as his career passes by. He goes from being the player who can all kill the best teams in the world one day to the player who just never gets out of GSL Code A for months at a time another day. It's he is one of these players who's very hit and miss, I would say. But we'll see how he can do against Scarlett. Yeah, I mean, he's very, very good. It's just consistency would not be a word you use to describe Billowy, I would say, at the very least. As you see this probe just pulling on up towards the upper left-hand side here, so Billowy just setting up there and getting ready to go. Just going to be moving on up, and again, some Lings just, some drones just mining away. He's all he's really going to scout. And that's the problem, because it's all he's going to scout because this hatchery is not in that base. So obviously he's going to scout the fact there is a lack of a hatchery, and that might start getting him a little bit concerned here. We'll see the Cybercore about to be placed. And Scarlett's proxy hatch is going to be her way to try and win game number 2 and to advance through this best of 3. So see if it works out for her. She starts to move the spine crawlers across the map here, and I mean, this is a build she tried against. Did she try this in GSL against Classic? I think she did. Was it on Varney as well? I can't remember what map it was on, but either way, she's going to go for it right now. And well, I mean, Billowy sees it fairly early because he didn't see the hatchery, of course. He sees the drones coming across, so he sort of knows what's going on. I mean, what is the right response to this from Billowy? Well, he has to kind of keep his calm, make sure he's walled off, get some tech up that's going to be able to help him get rid of the spines. And I think the Robo Facility, definitely one of the better ways to do that. With the Immortals on the way out, I mean, Immortals are very, very clunky, they're very powerful, and they do a lot of damage to spine crawlers. Nexus will cancel as Billowy will invest more money now into extra units. He's going to build up an extra gateway here, for example. I think he's making all the right decisions so far. The only thing I'd say is maybe a Mothership core. An overcharge could become very useful, just to buy a little bit of time wherever he might need it. So it's going to be seeing these couple of Zarts here at the front for now. Cybercore's in a bit of an awkward spot, actually, where it will probably go down very early. So you're probably going to have to rebuild the Cybernetics core very early on here. Next thing in trouble will probably be this gateway as well, but I mean, the main issue is it is going to open this little pathway for Zerglings to start running on through, and there is Lings with Ling speed about to finish. So having an access in towards these bases, or in towards the base, yeah, it's going to be very, very powerful for Scarlett. Obviously, that's one of her, going to be one of her strengths here. Is you see, Billowy did start up 2 Adepts before the Cybercore goes down. But again, I mean, triple Spinecrawler firing on this gateway, it's not going to last that long. I don't think he's actually going to have it last long enough for this Adept to finish even. So this Adept's not going to come out as... No, I mean, that is why he built another gateway. He's building another one now once again. But again, no Cybercore, so not too much else going to be going on. First Overcharge will pop, and we'll start to target down one of these spines now. A couple of Queens starting to target the Mothership core as well, as Flames will move on forwards. Immortal in the back trying to defend this, but it sort of feels though Billowy is, well, actually does hold on a couple of Adepts here, but now there's a bit of a problem because he's supply blocked. He's going to get more supply blocks. So he only really has what's already up, which is a couple of Adepts and an Immortal. And also behind this, he can only really make Zealots and another Immortal, right? And while the Immortal might be okay, I mean, against Zerglings, it doesn't exactly trade the best, as now the Spine's moving in range of the Robo Facility. So the Robo is going to go down, so this next Immortal will not come out. I mean, that's almost a certainty at this point, as one Spine will just micro backwards in time to stay out of range of the Overcharge. Queen coming back in though. Oh, maybe this Immortal is going to get out, because now one Spine goes down, the other one targeted as well. That's the strength of the Immortals here against this Spine Crawler rush. And we seeing the units once again, seeing what else they can get up to. So Robo will go down. So Robo has fallen, no second Immortal. That supply block truly was a massive issue, as we're going to be seeing this Spine just going to burrow towards the front here. And well, we've seen this Adept and the Immortal looking to see what else is going on. The Spine going to finish burrowing in just a moment, as Lings will continue to push on forwards. I think without any more production, really, in the end, it's going to get to this point where Scarlett is just going to overrun Billowy. And that's going to be that right there. GG, Scarlett picks up game number 2. And she takes the 2-0